Alright, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a few weeks now since I have posted on my channel, and that is because I have been in complete planner chaos this month, and we're going to talk about it today, and I'm just going to show you guys everything I've been using and experimenting the past couple weeks. But I think the Hobonichi previews, along with just like summer scaries, has like really messed up my whole planner like identity almost. And so I've been kind of freaking out the past few weeks. I've been giving myself some time to just kind of chill out for a second and kind of ride the wave through this like feeling that I'm feeling. And my work has been really crazy this month. I have mentioned it in past videos, but I work for the Olympics and a university. So there were the Olympics in August, and then school starts in August. So my jobs have just been like really, really intense this month. And I think my planner system was causing me a lot more stress with my work rather than helping. And so I think that, with a combination of just all the 2025 previews and then just my overall summer scaries, has like just all added into this big pot of just like planner overwhelm. So I don't really know the purpose of today's video. I'm just gonna kind of talk through my books and my feelings with you guys and kind of where my head is at. I think a lot of you guys are feeling similar. Megan Rhiannon actually just put a blog post up. I'll link it down below. And a lot of the things that she wrote in her blog post, I feel very similar to. And so it's nice not to feel alone in that sense. So I wanted to post this because I always want to be honest, and I never want to lie and say a system is working for me if it's not. And my brain is just a little difficult sometimes, and this is one of those times. I'm gonna walk through, I guess, where it all went wrong and then kind of where we're at right now. So my last video, I was archiving some of my ring pages, and then right after that, I found this Filofax cover on eBay and thought it would be really nice for fall because like it's a really pretty red and I love red. And so I bought this cover and moved all my pages over to it, and then immediately, for some reason, just like hated rings. And I thought maybe it was the cover, so I had moved everything back into my Ranger and I was still hating it. And then so I moved it back here, and this was around August 5th, August 6th, which is when the Hobonichi preview started. And I think once that started, it really started to confuse me on like what I want versus what I need and like new shiny things and all of that. And so I literally just stopped using my rings around the beginning of August, and I haven't touched them since. And I don't know why, because this has been so good for me and it has been working so good the past 2 months, but I cannot get myself to get back into this. Like, just the appeal of it isn't there. The like effort into printing and hole punching and stamping pages and just making pages is not there for me right now. And again, I think that might be because of my work, and my work is just very stressful and time consuming right now. So I think the idea of this being another project, another piece of like work that I have to spend energy on, is something that I'm not really loving. And so I think this is the last day, yeah, August 6th again. So this is the last day that I have in here, and I have not touched it since. I had also made my own monthly calendars, and then I ended up hating those, and so that I think contributed to some of this. But this is where we're at with rings, which is kind of a bummer because I have really loved rings, and this has been really, really good for me this summer. But for some reason in August, it's just not working. And I don't think I love this cover. I think this cover is one of the reasons it's not working. But even when I put it back in my Ranger, I don't know. It's something is not clicking right now with that. So that's the update with that. And so while this freak out was happening, obviously the Hobonichi previews were happening, and I really, really liked a lot of the A6 covers that they had previewed. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe I should go back to like the A6. And so I took out my A6 that I bought previously this year, and I was like, okay, let's just experiment. Let's hop back into it and see if it works. And something that didn't work for me in the A6 was not having a like weekly overview page. And so I changed the ones that I used in my personal size, and I just changed it to A6 size and then printed it out and just taped it in at the beginning of the week. And so I stuck in a weekly overview page, and then I was just going to use these dailies as normal. And I literally only made it 2 days in here before I realized, nope, I also hate this. And I think for me, I really enjoy like the look of the A6 size, but it's the actual like feeling of it when I'm writing down. I don't like my hand going off the book and off the pages. And I think right now for me, it's just like not working in that sense. And I didn't love having the weekly overviews over here because some weeks they fall after the Sunday, and then sometimes you have to like put it in between like Monday and Tuesday, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I literally only made it 2 days, and I was like, okay, well, the A6 isn't gonna work out. So, which is fine because I already had this book, and so it's not like I spent any money doing this little experiment. But it was a good reminder, and it kind of broke me out of that, I don't know, like honeymoon love that I was starting to feel towards the new Hobonichi covers. And so it was a good reminder to just be like, nope, like the covers can be pretty, but if this is not even gonna work past 2 days, then like don't even try it. So I tried A6 did not work out. I love flipping through this and I love how it looks, but just practically, yeah, it is not working for me. So that was about 2 days. I think the last day was like the 9th maybe. Yeah, so August 8th was the last day I did that. And then I think I had stopped using planners for like a couple days because I was just like, maybe I just like need a break and I just need to like chill out and quit forcing things. And so I think I took a couple days off, and then I said, well, we're already experimenting. Why don't I go back and try my B6 Papertess? I've been really anxious to seeing her 2025 previews for her books because I do really love my B6. And so part of me was like, well, maybe this is the answer and it's not Hobonichi, and I should just go back and try this system again. So I went in here and I had backfilled my August and July calendar. And then this was like a little experiment I had done when I was like in my A6. And then I think I did one weekly maybe. I did a couple daily pages, and then I set up my next weekly overview, and then I again only made it like 2 or 3 days before I stopped using it. So that didn't work out. And I think for me, the thing, I thought that I liked having like the chronological layout. Like I think in previous videos I mentioned that I don't have a preference, but I think realistically I actually do. And I think in my brain I don't like having the monthly calendars split up from each other. And so I think it actually does bother me how when I'm trying to look through previous monthly calendars, like I have to sift through and find them. And I think I am also having an issue with the dailies for some reason, and I don't really know why, but something about this is not sticking with me, and I can't really pinpoint it, but I don't enjoy filling the pages out. I really enjoy flipping through my previous ones. Like I love the look of these more than any of my books and planners, and I enjoy flipping through this, but I haven't actually been enjoying filling them out, which is an issue for me because like aesthetically I'm really happy with them, but like my hobbying of planners and journaling I don't think is matching that like same enjoyment that I do just like looking at them. And for me, like, I want to enjoy writing down and like looking forward to filling out my book every day, or like at least a majority of my days. And for some reason, I'm not sticking to this either, and I'm not enjoying this either. And again, it could just be my work, it could just be like the time of year. So I didn't want to force it, and I didn't want to, I don't know, make myself more miserable and just stress myself out more about it. So I tried it out for a couple days and didn't love it, and so I haven't used a planner since. So the last day I think that I used it was the 14th of August. Today is the 23rd, 24th. So I haven't been in a planner for 10 days now, which is kind of crazy, and it feels a little bit naked. But I've just been using like sticky notes at work, my digital calendar at work, and just trying to like make it through the weeks. In that sense, my schedule is very out of the norm right now just because of the events happening at both jobs. And so I haven't had the need really to do a weekly overview because my schedule is like all over the place. So I haven't been in a book for 10 days now, and I've really just been trying to give myself some time and patience and grace and just let myself kind of like ride this wave and just chill out for a second instead of trying to force it. And part of me has been reflecting on what I truly want out of a book, what direction I want to move in, and things I want to prioritize, not only for 2025, but the remainder of 2024. And something I've really missed and haven't spent a lot of time investing in, I think, is my art and like my paintings and my drawings that I used to do all the time. And granted, that's because I work 2 jobs now and I have YouTube, and so a lot of my time is very thinned out, and I think that contributes a lot to that. But I would really like to prioritize just having a artistic or creative outlet a lot more versus, I don't know, some of the things I've been doing. Like, I don't know if any of that makes sense, but that's kind of the direction I want to move in. And so when I thought about that, like, okay, well, when was I happiest in a planner? And like, when was I actually taking the time to invest in that like hobby, but also, you know, use a planner as a planner, like an organizational tool? And that was when I was in my cousin, which was last year. And I was in my cousin for an entire year, and I never had one itch to planner hop. And so I broke out my cousin from last year just to like flip through it and see, I don't know, if it brought up any feelings. And when I flip through this, like, I just remember like always being really content and like happy in here. And then even when I wasn't, I was making like small tweaks, or I was doing little experimentation weeks, and I was able to get myself out of these funks with it. And I literally was in this book for an entire year, except for like 8 weeks, which was in June, which again, I get summer scaries a lot of the time. I think it's like postpartum, like after having kids, I don't know what it is, but so for some reason in the summers, like June, July-ish, it's not a good time to be in my brain, and I always get summer scaries, and I'm feeling it right now. But I mean, I think a major part of that is just work. But I was looking through this and I was like, okay, well, like, why did this work so well for so long versus all these other books I've tried? Like for 2024 this year, I haven't been in a planner for more than like a month and a half or 2 months. I think my rings is the longest I've been in one book, and I don't like planner hopping. Like, it's, I like it in the sense that like sometimes it's needed and necessary, especially when you have big life changes. But for me, like, I don't like feeling like I'm feeling right now. Like, I don't have a rock to lean on or like a emotional support book to lean on when I'm going through these times. And when I was in my cousin, like, I felt supported, I guess, throughout the entire year. And even when I was making pages that I did not like or I hated, I still felt very positively about my book and what it was doing for me mentally. And I just haven't felt that way since moving out of my cousin. And again, I don't know if this is because Hobonichi is like coming out with their new stuff this year, and so I'm like rose-colored glasses on like, you know, the old times, like nostalgia to something that was in the past. But when you like look at the facts of this, like I was in this for an entire year and literally was like so consistent with this in a way that I have not been with any books since. So part of me is wanting to go back to something like this, either the Hobonichi Cousin, or I've been looking at Sterling Inks books this year, like maybe the B6 or the B6 slim size. So I think what I'm gonna do for the remainder of this year is just experiment around a little bit more and try a couple books, try some layouts, and see what's sticking and what's not, and like what I think like is calling to me the most, bringing me the most joy. Because right now it's not my rings, it's not my A6, it's not my B6, and I'm fine with not having a planner for right now, but I know eventually that's gonna go away and I'm gonna need to be back into a book. And so I really would like to set myself up for success and be in a book that I enjoy and also is giving me what I need in terms of like time management and my organization for work. And so I think I'm gonna take the next few weeks and months and just play around in some different books and just have kind of like zero expectations in it and just use them for what I need and see if that helps and see if anything clicks and stays. And then hopefully by then I'll have a good idea of what I want to use for 2025, or at least the beginning of 2025. But right now, currently, my head is leaning towards a cousin or similar layout to a cousin. I think, again, I do miss having all of my monthlies together. I do also miss the colors of Hobonichi. I know a lot of people don't like it, but for me, I think the font and the colors is just, I don't know, it scratches an itch in my brain, which no other planners or like fonts have for me. And I also miss like tracking my reading and my books and like hobbies and stuff like that in here. And so I definitely am feeling a lot of the nostalgia from this. And again, I think I prefer having all of my monthlies together than all of my weeklies and then my dailies. And something that I did with my dailies when I was in my cousin is that I didn't do a page per day. Like I only wrote in these when I felt like it, and then like in my entries I would put in the dates. And I think that worked really well for me versus when I've been in my B6, I've tried to do it as a page per day, and I like the look of it and I like flipping through it, but I think there's like almost this subconscious like dread in the back of my brain where it's like, ugh, like I have this blank page and I gotta fill it out today. Whereas when I was in the cousin, like I didn't feel that pressure really. And I think that's more of a me problem and not the planners. And that could just be like a mindset shift that I could do. But I don't know, I feel like the book like just doesn't lie. Like I just practice a lot more art in here. I was obviously like using this a lot more than my other books, and I was also like sharing pictures and ephemera, and it's not too chunky, and she's well loved, and I did really enjoy my time in the cousin. So part of me is just, I don't know, a little lost if you can't tell. But I think, yeah, the next couple weeks I'm just going to experiment, and I think with fall starting to approach, that transition into a new season is also going to really help me. And once my job settles down, that's also going to really help. So I'm feeling very optimistic for the next few weeks, and I'm not trying to stress out and freak out about it. But yeah, August has just been kind of a shit show when it comes to planners, and I didn't really mean for it to be, but that's just kind of what happened, and that's where we're at. So those are all of my current planner thoughts. I would love to know how you guys are feeling, and if the 2025 previews have given you more clarity or maybe confused you more about like where you're thinking for 2025. I think it's really reassuring to like read other people's comments and like see that, you know, a lot of people are feeling very similar. So I am definitely interested to hear what you guys think. I'm sorry that I have been inconsistent with my books. I know sometimes that could be frustrating as a viewer when you have a creator that you look up to and you really enjoy their books, and then the creator is kind of like all over the place, but I am human and we're going through a very human time right now. So that's kind of what's happening. So those are all the books that I have been dabbling in this month. I don't think I want to buy any other like sizes per se or try anything else. I think I'm really sticking towards like the B6 to A5 range, just because I feel more like artistically capable maybe in a bigger book. So we will see. But yeah, I'm hoping to have some sort of update for you guys next week. I've purchased a couple notebooks just so I can dabble in them and try them, because obviously these ones are not working for me right now, so I don't want to keep banging my head up against the same wall if it is not working. So I've purchased a couple books that I'm going to do a couple experiments in and see if that helps, and see if we get somewhere. But that's basically where we are at currently. So would love to know your guys' thoughts on all of this. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, and thank you so much for all of your support always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.